Representing the business of boxing, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Manager Marty!
Thank you. You're far too kind. Thank you very
much. Representing the business of boxing, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Manager Marty!
Thank you. You're far too kind. Thank you very much.
Representing the business of boxing, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Manager Marty!
Thank you. You're far too kind. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the jury, members of the Roll the Tape film crew, welcome to another edition of Roll the Tape podcast with Manager Marty. I am your host, Manager Marty, and I'm glad to be here today. We have a good show today, of course, as always. Well, not as always, but most of the time, majority of the time. And I wanted to break down the business aspect of what's going on in the sport of boxing, particularly with the, as the title says, Devin Haney drama. Now, I know that the picture and thumbnail says something about snack works. We all know that the snack program works. But we're not going to dive all the way into all of that in this broadcast. We are going to touch on the snack program. There is no question about it. But that's not going to be the entire broadcast, the snack program. We're going to touch on it. It has to be done. I mean, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. And I'm talking about the snack program with regards to Devin Haney. We have to talk about it. You know, just like when we was talking about it when it was Terrence Crawford. You know, just like when we was talking about it when it was Caleb Plant. So we have to talk about it. We have to deal with what's real. I have a very special guest. Speaking of what's real. He is a relative of mine. Okay? It just so happened that we have the same name. Well, part of our name is the same name. He's going to be here to enlighten us. And he's going to speak truth. I'm going to reveal his identity in a minute. But we have to deal with truth. That's one of the things that we do on this channel. And I love this channel. I love the Roll the Tape podcast because that's what we do here. In the chat, we deal with truth. In the comments section on the published videos, we deal with truth. In the live segments, we deal with truth. I mean, this is what we do here. And the great thing about it is that we can use all of the truth, not some of it, not little bits and pieces, but all of the truth as teachable moments so that the fans of boxing can be entertained and educated when encountering this podcast. And so we have a special guest with us today. I am going to reveal the identity of our special guest, but first, we want to deal with the foundation of what we're going to talk about today. Yes, we're going to talk about Devin Haney. He is the talk of the town right now. He made history again in the sport of boxing. So we have to deal with giving Devin Haney his credit. We also have to deal with the news reports with regards to the $4 million turn down of the Matias team. I hope I'm pronouncing his last name correctly, Matias. And I say allegedly because we really don't have any concrete evidence so far. Now, if there has been evidence that leaked sometime today, then I will stand corrected and I will then apologize. But as of right now, I haven't seen any evidence to prove that Team Matias, and when I say team, let me be more specific. The representation that push buttons in the camp of Matias, turning down a $4 million deal that was offered to him within 48 hours of Devin Haney fighting and winning against Regis Prograis. We have to deal with that. And we have to talk about that. And we have to get everybody's perspective on it when we talk about what's next for Devin Haney. Who should he fight next? Okay? We have to talk about all of that. And we're going to talk about all of it today. Absolutely. Why not? Y'all saw the title, right? It's drama unfolded. It's drama that unfolded thus far. You know? And we don't know. We don't know if he's going to fight Matias. We don't know if he's going to fight Sandor Martin. We don't know if he's going to fight a mandatory. We don't know if he's going to move up to 147 to fight Mario Barrios or Keith Thurman. We don't know. But what we do know is who he's not going to fight. And he's not going to fight Tank Davis. Well, that's not my words. We're going to pull up the author of those words. Yes, we are. We're going to pull up the author of those words right now anyway. I mean, Devin Haney himself said back in May that sooner or later he'd be willing to fight Tank Davis. Not today, but sooner or later. Eddie Hearn, he even said within the last 24 to 48 hours that fight may not be able to be available to make happen. But we keep hearing Tank Davis's name being screamed out. So we have to talk about that today as well. The link, of course, is pinned to the top of the chat. Of course, you know I'm flying the kite out instantly because we're going to have a panel. I know people want to come up. Well, I assume that people want to come up. But we shall see. So we have to deal with the disappointments of this fight between Tank Davis and Devin Haney not happening. Because for the last couple of years, that's all we've been hearing. And now all of these other extra names have been included in the pot. We have to talk about that. And we're going to talk about that today. We have to deal with the realities of where we are. We have to deal with the climate of boxing. Devin Haney is the 140-pound champion. So we have to deal with what's next for him. And we're going to deal with it in this segment. Now, of course, all are welcome to join the panel. And speaking of welcome, I welcome each and every last one of you that are watching live and live in color. I welcome those of you that are watching the replay of this live. I welcome those of you that are engaging in the chat. And I also welcome those of you who will be replying and giving feedback in the comments section below when you get an opportunity to. We're going to have a good show today. We're not going to have a long, drawn-out show today unless the panel is so on fire and we can't cut it off. Unless the chat is so on fire and we can't stop it. Because usually when the panel is formed, it be on fire. The chat be on fire. But we shall see. And we want to deal with the real. We're not doing no popcorn today. We're not doing no marshmallow talk today. We got to keep it all the way real. And we have to deal with facts. We're going to get on with the segment, but before I do, I have to say, in my discoveries of this YouTube boxing community that I have been exposed to for about a year now, I recognize the old saying of facts over feelings. Facts over feelings. Facts over feelings. When I first got on YouTube, that's what I've been hearing. But what I've been seeing thus far is fighters over facts. And we have to deal with that. And we have to make our adjustments accordingly. And there's nothing wrong with being a fan of a fighter. Of course not. This is boxing. At the same time, though, when the facts are being presented, we got to deal with it, whether it's our favorite fighter or not. Okay? And I think this is the platform that deals with that. Because I'm a fan of all the fighters. I've always maintained an objective view. It don't matter who the fighter is. We have to deal with what's real on this channel. I think everybody should, regardless of what relationship status you have with a fighter or their team or their coaches or their managers or promoters or whoever. We have to present the facts because this is broadcast journalism, right? Okay then. So we have to present accurate information. And with that being said, we have to do it right. We're not going to do it for a while, but we have to do it right. I'm only going to spend like 2 minutes on this too, by the way. And I'm talking about our Town Watch check-in. We got to do it now, like right now, because when this Town Watch check-in is over, I have to present my guests. I have to. I don't know how long the guest's going to be here. Could be a short time, could be a long time, but I have to present my guest. And I have to let him speak on truth because that's what we're dealing with today is truth. Just like we deal with it any other day. So I'm glad to have you all with me. But we have to do our Town Watch check-in so that the energy level can increase exponentially. Now, if this is your first time joining us live and live in color or the replay of this live, I have to tell you what Town Watch check-in means and what it represents. Town Watch check-in is exclusively unique to this channel. Town Watch check-in is very simple. It is an opportunity for all of us to lay the foundation that even though we represent different geographical locations, it is synonymous with us representing different opinions and different perspectives on all the topics that we discuss on this channel. And with that being said, it is a foundation that will allow us at the end of this broadcast to leave this broadcast with the same mindset that even though we share different opinions, different perspectives, different points of views, and different geographical locations, we share one thing in common, and that is our love for the sport of boxing. So how does the Town Watch check-in work? Well, it's very simple. All you have to do if you're live and live in color, you have to insert your city, state, island, and or country in the chat. I will in turn publicly acknowledge your city, state, island, and or country. And then we will move forward with the show. Fair enough? Okay, cool. I'm going to start it off first. And then I'm going to run down the list of Town Watch check-ins in the chat. And I look forward to you participating live and live in color. Y'all ready? All right, I'm going to start it off. Y'all know where I'm from. I'm representing the great city of Philadelphia. We all call it and know it as Philly. Stand up. I'm representing my city that I reside in, that I was born and raised in, but I am also representing the DFW area, the state of Texas. To be exact, the city that I reside in, Arlington, the Mansfield section, Tarrant County. Stand up. Y'all know I represent, and I'm going to represent your hometown. I'm going to represent where you are from, and or if you want to insert in the chat where you're located now. All right, let's get this show started. We got Ohio in the building. We got Ohio in the building. Albany, New York is back in the spot. CEO, since I see you. Baltimore, the smoothest criminal I know is here in the building. Ooh, it don't stop there. We got the West Coast representing. San Diego, California is here with us today. I see you. Cleveland, Ohio here. Couple of people from Cleveland. BBO Boxing, I see you. Salute to you, my brother. Cleveland, Ohio is in the building. Ooh, Syntex in the house. Killeen, I see you. 757 Pete Town in the building. Now, I got to represent Ohio. I got to represent Ohio, even though, BBO, you know what time it is. I already done text you now. There was a fighter from Ohio in that ring on Saturday night. He didn't pull out the win. But I tell you who did. I know who pulled out the win over the weekend that represented Ohio very well. I'm talking about the Cleveland, Ohio Browns. Yeah. Cleveland, hey, listen, the Browns won this weekend. And Cincinnati also won this weekend. That's all I'm saying. Ohio stepped it up this weekend after their loss on Saturday. That's all I'm saying. Fayetteville, North Carolina is in the building. I see. Oh, it don't stop there. Y'all know the Midwest is here. Detroit is in the building. I see you. Come on now. Y'all know when I see the city that I represent in the chat, it just make me get even more excited. West Philly is in the building. Currently residing in Coatesville, Pennsylvania. I see you. Come on, y'all. Let's get one more check-in before we start this show out. I got to introduce my guest, but I want to get one more check-in if we can. Can I get one more? Not one more. One more, because I represent the South, the Midwest, the East, and the West. Ooh, never heard of it before. But Laurinburg, North Carolina is in the building. I see you, Rolling South Sports. Come on and check on in, y'all. One more now. One more. Come and talk to me. One more. I sound like Jodeci with that one. Come on, y'all. One more check-in. We got to get this show on the road, man. We got to get this, man. We got to talk about some truth now. We have to. We have to deal with what's real, y'all. Come on, can I get another check-in? Woo! Wichita, Kansas. My God, Jeremy is in the building. I see you. Washington, D.C. is also in the building. I see you, CJ. Asante L already shouted you out, but I see what you said in the chat. I don't know what video. I didn't see it, but I know if it's coming from the guy that you mentioned, I know it was a good one. Texas is in the building. The supervisor of the Roll the Tape film crew members is here. 2 Cents Boxing, I see you. Charleston, South Carolina is here. And so is DC. Ooh, boxing matchups with DC, I see you. Ooh, man, listen now. Y'all see the viewership is increasing exponentially. Y'all see the viewership is increasing exponentially. And so is the energy level. I got a guess. He's a relative of mine now. We just so happen to have part of the same name. But I got to bring him on now. He has some things that he want to speak on. He have a few things he want to speak on. And I told him I was going to introduce him to the audience today. But before I bring him on, if we have another Town Watch check-in, if you insert your geographical location, I promise you, even if I have to interrupt myself, I will definitely acknowledge you. All right? But moving right along, I want to know if I don't know if this is true or not. I had made a few phone calls, but I'm waiting for a few people to get back with me because I don't ever want to put out inaccurate information. But I want to know from anybody that's watching live and living color, and it could be, to me personally, I think it's an error. Me personally, I think it is an error. But I don't know. I don't want to assume that it's an error and come out publicly and say what I'm about to show you on the screen is an error, and I don't have evidence of it being an error. I would believe that it is an error, but I don't know. Phoenix, Arizona is in the building. I see you. Baltimore in the building. I see you as well. So I don't want to say it's an error and then it's not. So I don't know if I believe it's an error. I believe that. But if it's not, I'd rather say I don't know and be honest with y'all like I always am. So I'm going to ask everybody, did anybody see this? Did anybody see this? Look on your screen now. Look on your screen. I'm asking the question. If you're driving home or driving to the store, or if you're just listening and you can't look, I'm going to tell you what it is on the screen. But those of you that can see, tell me in the chat if you ever heard if this is true or not, or is it a mistake? It's on BoxRec as I'm talking to y'all right now. I made a few phone calls first to confirm because I didn't want to put no information out to say that it's not true because I believe that it's an error online that's on the BoxRec website. But did y'all hear anything about this, whether this is true or not, or is it a mistake? Because I didn't hear nobody else speak on it. Maybe anybody else don't know. So I don't know. Because it wasn't there before the fight. So I don't know. Now, if you're not looking and you can't, and you driving or you working in the house or you at the gym working out or you somewhere in the grocery store or something and you can't see the screen, what's on the screen is directly from boxrec.com's website. Devin Haney is the picture that's on the screen. His name is also on the screen. His record is also on the screen. But on the top, it says that Devin Haney is suspended by the California State Athletic Commission until December the 16th, 2023. Now, somebody in the chat just asked me, when did I see it? I first seen this yesterday. We were off live, or I would have brought it up then. But it was about maybe 8 o'clock p.m. or something like that. I don't know. I think it was like 7:30 or 8 o'clock at night. I saw this. Okay? I don't know. I believe there's an error. Only because he just fought, and then to be suspended for a week, I've never seen or heard of that in the business before. Can someone fact check this first? I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's an error. I don't know. Anybody in the chat, can y'all go on boxrec.com and see if this is still up here? Because this was a screenshot that I took just last night. They could have took it off today. I don't know if it's an error. I don't know. Like I said, a couple of phone calls I've been waiting to hear back from today haven't called me back to confirm, because I don't want to put no news out saying that it's not. I believe it's not true, but once again, I don't know. Somebody just told me in the chat that it's still there. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Now, I can understand. Somebody just said that, let me put on it. See, I don't like repeating something in the chat without putting the words up. And it says that BoxRec has Ugas suspended also. Okay. Now, I know that Ugas was suspended. I already knew that already. Salute to my guy, my family. He's here. Philly Fight Doctor, my guy. I see you in the chat, my brother. I already knew that. And of course, we already know why because of the performance or the lack thereof. You know what I mean? With Mario Barrios, Ugas got hurt real bad. You know what I mean? He may have suffered an injury. He got knocked down. You know what I mean? And of course, we know that he had the injury on his eye socket from when he fought Spence. So he may have gotten, um, re-injured. I'm not assuming that. I'm just telling you what's more likely to happen with Ugas still being suspended until March the 29th, 2024. Okay? All right? But I'm just showing y'all that this is something that I saw last night with regards to Devin Haney being suspended by the California State Athletic Commission. Now, everybody in the chat is still saying that it's still up there. I don't know. They maybe they meant to place that on someone else. I don't know. Like I said, I'm waiting for a few phone calls to confirm or deny, because I don't want to put out information saying that it's not true and then it is true. I don't think it is, but I don't know. And I'm honest enough to tell y'all I don't know if it's true or not, opposed to reading an article like some of our fellow constituents do, and our counterparts acting like they was right there as an insider. Of course, thank you for that, Philly Fight Doctor, as always. You know how we always talk about that. And the whole time, they don't know. They just reading it and hearing from somebody else. So I don't know. Because it says here that Regis Prograis is also suspended by the California State Athletic Commission until January the 23rd, 2024. And then it also has that he's suspended again until December the 16th, 2023. They have it up there twice. So I don't know. I don't know if it's a medical suspension. I don't know. Now used typically when it's within 30 days, of course, most of the times the ringside physician who is employed and licensed by the commission of that state evaluates the fighters, provide them with those exams prior to the fight, and is there during the actual fight. And then, of course, after the fight, they provide them with a very, very brief evaluation, okay? And then they determine whether or not a fighter should be held off, so to speak, or we're going to call it suspended for 30 days, 60, 90 days, or whatever. So remember, California is the same state that suspended Hank Lundy. And it was it was based on a non-injury, even though the injury was involved in the complaints, but it was due to a non-injury, and it was basically based on a phone call. It was a legitimate phone call. Now, make no mistakes about it, but it's California, so that's why I didn't want to put it out there to say I know what's going on, and I really don't, because it is California. Now, if it was Nevada, Nevada is more of a sturdier state when it comes to protocol. Now, I'm not saying California isn't. I'm just saying that Nevada, in my experiences, have been more stricter in their suspensions opposed to California. But remember, they have different rules and regulations for each state. I just wanted to put that out there first, because I don't know if this. I don't think this is true. I think it's an error, but I don't know, and I don't want to act like I do when I don't. Okay? And hey, if he's suspended, good. If they're protecting the safety of the fighter, which most of the time they are, all the time they are, really. Not even most of the time, all the time. If it's based on the health of the fighter, that's a good thing. I mean, the likelihood of him fighting within 5 days is extremely rare. So 5 days is not about nothing. And who said he's going to fight again in the state of California? We don't know. But remember now, just so you all know, it doesn't matter what state you're suspended by, you can't fight in any state in America. So let's say hypothetically, if a fighter, let's say Ugas, let's use Ugas as an example since on BoxRec, it confirmed that Ugas is suspended until March of 2024. If the Nevada State Athletic Commission, which they did, suspend Ugas until March, he can't go to Pennsylvania in January and say, "Hey, I want to fight this guy," and they allow him to fight. That's not happening. He has to honor the suspension, even though the competition may be in another state. So I want to provide education and context on that as well. All right. I have a guest with us today. He is a relative of mine. You see me mimic him a lot in my live content. You've seen me mimic him a lot in my published content. Well, he's here today. You got him live in the flesh. He's here today. That is true, Dutch Entertainment. You are absolutely correct. Sometimes it's only 60 days, but it depends on how injured or how concerned the ringside physician is. Okay? Sometimes it's an automatic 60-day, depending on the state. Remember, I told you every state have their own regulations. But for the most part, you are correct, Dutch Entertainment. And speaking of entertainment, my guest is full of entertainment, but it's all about truth. And that's what we want to deal with today. And I introduce to you all a relative of mine who I have great admiration for. And I am referring to the great Manager Marty, Luther King. Take it away, cuz.
Different networks there. I think it's a great fight, and I think it's one we can look for.
What is it going to take for that fight to actually happen?
I don't know. I think that, like, when you look at Bill and you look at Ellaby, or if he's even involved, or Hank and the coaches, like, I feel like that's a long way away, that fight. Like, generally when a super fight gets made, there's at least a couple of conversations between the teams or the networks. Obviously, it's two different networks there. I think it's a great fight, and I think it's one we could look forward to. But for me, I look at the Ryan Garcia fight and think we should be making that fight like that. You know, both guys with the zone. You know, Ryan should be wanting that fight.
As my cousin says, ladies and gentlemen, members of the jury, members of the Roll the Tape film crew, ladies and gentlemen, those were the words of Bishop Eddie Hearn. And you heard the Bishop Eddie Hearn say that the fight that Devin Haney can make immediately was Ryan Garcia. Why? Because both fighters are with the zone, and it's an easier fight to materialize. Also, the Bishop Eddie Hearn had some other choice words about Tank Davis that you just heard. His words, not mine, is that fight won't be able to materialize between Tank Davis and Devin Haney because it's a super fight. And there's too much going on with the coaches, and there's different networks, and there's different barriers to make that fight happen. But over the weekend, we've heard Bill Haney scream the name Tank. Tank! Tank, where are you? Move your fat ASS up to 140 and fight Devin Haney. That's what Bill Haney said. We've also heard Bill Haney say that he sent an offer to Matias. In the camp of Matias, who holds a title at 140. And now I'm going to replay some words of Bishop Eddie Hearn, and then I'm going to reveal my identity, because we have to deal with truth today. And the Bishop Eddie Hearn, in this next clip, he's going to speak on who he's willing to make a fight with regarding Devin Haney.
Like, you imagine the numbers
You're going to make money
and
too.
someone's asking for 10. It's like, at least ask for 2.5 or 3, and we can do a deal or get there. But it's like banging your head against the wall, and those fighters will be benched, like TFE, man.
But I ask you about Tio, Eddie, because if he is a free agent, does the thought not cross your mind? Let me make a fight between him and Devin on his own. That would actually be for all the marbles.
If he's a free agent,
Right.
100%. And by the way,
Is that not the fight
kind
for
of
all the
money that
marbles?
he wants, you can deliver it against a Devin Haney or a Regis Prograis. You've seen what they've done this week. So, again, maybe that fight he wants 20 million.
Now it's Teofimo Lopez name added in the list. So there's so many people that Devin Haney can fight. So many people, if you're just joining us live, I am none other than Bishop Manager Martin Luther King. There's a word that we want to deal with today. I see the brother in the chat, my fellow brother, the Honorable Reverend YSM. He's with us today. I got to come back to your church, YSM, so that we can get some dialogue on footage, my brother. We have to know the word truth, because the word says the truth will set you free. Now we have to deal with the truth now. The truth of the matter is this. We don't want to hear what's going on with Tank Davis. We don't want to hear what's going on with Devin Haney. We don't want to hear it. We've heard enough. We've heard enough by Bill Haney, and we've heard enough by Calvin Ford. We've heard enough. Now the boxing church want to see Tank Davis versus Devin Haney. We don't want to see Tank Davis fight Isaac Cruz. No, we don't want to see that. We don't want to see Devin Haney fight Matias. I don't even know when Matias' name ever even come up. His name just came up within 24 to 48 hours of Devin Haney demolishing Regis. We don't want to hear or see none of that. We want to see Tank Davis and Devin Haney. I know what some of you saying in the boxing church. I hear you. I know what you're saying. You're saying Manager Marty Luther King, they're not even in the same weight class. Oh, I hear you talking. I hear you. And Manager Marty Luther King have to agree with you. They're not. But neither is Keith Thurman. Neither is Mario Barrios. We don't want to see Devin fight neither two of them either. I mean, it's good for legacy. But we got to deal with truth. And the truth is that Tank Davis, it's time for him to step up and fight Devin Haney. I'm not saying he don't want to fight him. I'm saying the boxing church is saying all across the world it's time for Tank to step up and fight Devin Haney. It's time for Devin Haney to step up and fight Tank Davis. Now, I know some of y'all saying, especially the ones that you sitting in the back, I hear you saying, Manager Marty Luther King, they're not in the same weight class. I hear you. But we have to deal with truth. Now, I was told now by the Reverend in the chat, and he's in the background, and I'm going to let him on. But he said that Devin Haney is not signed exclusively to Eddie Hearn. And I actually hope that's true. And if it's coming from the Reverend YSM, I believe it's true. So we don't need Eddie Hearn to tell us. And I know he's a bishop. I know he's a clergyman, but we don't need Eddie telling us about Teofimo Lopez. No, we don't need that. We don't need the Bishop Eddie telling us about Ryan Garcia against Tank. We don't need to hear that. Want to know why? Because year after year after year after year, we've been criticizing Terrence Bud Crawford for not fighting Errol Spence at the time that the names first was brought up. So we got to keep that same energy when it comes to Tank Davis and Devin Haney. We don't want to hear a reporter ask Devin Haney about Tank Davis, and then Devin Haney says, sooner or later the fight may happen. Because that's what Devin said at the post-fight press conference after the Lomachenko fight. Y'all remember that? Bill Haney's on record telling Coach Calvin Ford that his son is going to knock Tank Davis out. And so now the time is here. We got to deal with truth. It don't matter who your favorite fighter is. We got to stand on honor and truth. And the truth of the matter is, it is time for Devin Haney to step up and fight harder competition. The truth is, it's time for Tank Davis to step up and fight harder competition. And I believe it's time for all of us to step up and apply pressure and let them know what the people want to see. And that is Tank Davis versus Devin Haney. We don't want to see Devin Haney fight nobody else. We don't want to see Tank Davis fight nobody else. But I hear what y'all saying. You're saying Manager Marty Luther King, they're not in the same weight class. I hear you. But neither was Ryan Garcia when he fought Tank Davis. Y'all remember that? You remember that they fought at a catch weight. So it shouldn't be no problem with Devin Haney and Tank Davis fighting at a catch weight. Now, what the catch weight's going to be, I don't know. But I got to put something on the screen before I close this segment out. I got to put something on the screen now because Devin Haney can't make the weight no more. The young man said it out of his mouth. He just can't make it no more. But I want to show y'all something on your screen. Don't you get mad at the Bishop Manager Marty Luther King. I'm showing you what the Snack program said on their Instagram. Their products improve your level of fitness and it helps lose fat, build muscle, and enhance performance. So if Tank Davis got an issue with his weight, he need to go to the Snack program. Yeah, I said it. If Devin Haney got an issue with his weight, he need to get on another program on the Snack program because we see what the Snack program does. I know y'all don't want to hear about it, but we got to stand on honor and truth. And in my benediction, I must end it with the truth. You might not want to hear the truth, but turn to your neighbor and say, neighbor, the Snack program works. Turn to your other neighbor and say, neighbor, the Snack program, it works. And I dare anybody to challenge me and tell me that the Snack program don't work. You see how these men and women on the Snack program perform? Don't get mad at me. Devin Haney told you on the Netflix special. Y'all remember that documentary? Yeah, my cousin told me he had a problem pulling it up from Netflix yesterday. They said they had a system or network error, excuse me. Devin Haney done told y'all what the Snack program does. Now, somebody might say, Manager Marty Luther King. What did Devin Haney say about the Snack program? Well, don't take my cousin Manager Marty's word for it. Don't take Manager Marty Luther King's word for it. Take Devin Haney's word for it. Himself, he's going to tell you about the Snack program. It works.
He believed in the dream.
I guess in some respects, did we create a monster? Maybe a little bit, but I mean, I think most people who hear and see Victor Conti realize him for who he is, and that's, you know, a used car, snake oil, salesman guy, bullshit artist.
I'd like to dedicate my life to helping to create a level playing field for the young athletes of the future.
I'm by far most proud of contribution to the anti-doping movement. Went and met with WADA, the World Anti-Doping Agency, and I revealed specifically how these athletes athletes are circumventing the anti-doping policies and procedures in place.
What they're doing now is they're using duck and dodge techniques. Just take it like this, put it under the tongue. I think there's abuse going on. I think there needs to be a further investigation.
But how many guys do you think are using it?
My guess is about 50%.
50% of MMA athletes or
Yes,
professional
of
athletes?
MMA.
And now, because you can't make a living cheating anymore, you want to flip the other side and start calling people out and point fingers.
And it just so happens that the red light district of sport, which is boxing, I was able to find a home there.
Me with Victor, then that's when people will come to me and say, oh, he's a cheater and he's going to try to give you drugs, or he is giving you drugs and stuff like that. But I never really paid attention to it. Yeah, I mean, I would say that it is performance enhancing, just without the drugs. Victor's definitely the master.
Did you hear the man Devin Haney himself tell you? Yes, people have come to me and told me to watch out for Victor. They told me he was a cheater. They told me he was going to give me drugs. They told me that. But I'm blocking everybody out. I'm not worried about what the people are saying, criticizing me for being over here on the snack program with Victor Conti. And we're going to close the benediction out with the words of Devin Haney himself. He said, yes, it's performance enhancements. Without the drugs, Victor Conti is a mad scientist. So in closing, Boxing Church, I tell you, don't get mad at Manager Mark. Don't you get mad at me when I make certain observations about the snack program. Don't you get mad at me if I told you in the last 3 or 4 fights that Devin Haney fought in great gloves, but in the Regis fight, he fought in Everlast gloves. Don't get mad at me. This is truth. Don't take my word for it. The snack program, it works. And I'm going to leave with Terrence Crawford's words. Terrence Crawford said, I use different things on the snack program that other fighters, they don't use. There's different programs for different fighters. Let the Boxing Church say, amen. That boy good. That boy good. Sexual chocolate. Y'all remember that scene out the movie? He said, sexual chocolate. That boy good. Yeah, so, hey, y'all heard what the man said. Don't get mad at my cousin. Don't get mad at the Reverend. He's just telling you like it is. You know what I mean? We got to move on with the show. My God, YSM Sports Media. What's going on, sir? YSM, you there?
What's good, Marty?
I'm good, brother. What's going on with you, man?
I'm all right, man. I'm all right. Stuck in traffic.
Oh, man, it's a lot of drama going on behind Devin Haney's name. And I'm not talking about snack. I'm talking about in general. All the fights that's materializing. His dad is negotiating with this guy, that guy. Eddie Hearn talking, you know what I mean? What's going on, YSM? I don't know what's going on, man.
I mean, you know when you come off a good performance, now, man, it just opens just different doors, different avenues. But as far as like him, like Devin's a free agent. And this was just a one-off. And according to them, they just gonna be doing one-offs. They're just looking for fights, not trying to be locked down to any promotional company.
That's good.
I was told by the other promotional company, I don't even know if you can call them that, but they're interested. They were interested before the Regis fight.
Brown?
No.
Who you?
I don't. All right, so he's been signed to Matchroom before. He's been signed to Top Rank, and I was talking to the other company. Not saying no names. I was talking to the other company, and they're interested. They're interested
in Devin Haney, or
they're interested in the Gervonta Davis fight. They're interested in Devin Haney in general.
Oh yes.
And we had that conversation before the Regis fight. That they're interested. They felt like he's the only guy that's of pay-per-view level that they don't have. And that he would be like the final chess move grabbing him.
Hey man, I'm gonna tell you something, YSM, and I know a lot of my day one supporters that was here months ago and been holding the channel down. They will tell you in the chat if they recall. I told Devin Haney through this channel, live and living color, right after he fought Lomachenko, when he became a free agent after his last fight under the banner of Top Rank, and I can roll the tape on myself, I said that Devin Haney need to pick up the phone and call Al Heyman. The same thing I told Ryan Garcia to do recently. But that's a great business move for the Haneys if they put it together. And it's also an equally great business move for Al Heyman and PBC if they can sign Devin. It's a good deal for both entities. Absolutely.
I'm curious to see how everything plays out because you got to do your due diligence, especially when you're a free agent. You got to see who's coming with the best offer. In my Marty voice.
That's correct. There's a guy, real quick, Wise. I don't want to cut you off because this guy is in the background. Do you know a guy named Brooklyn?
No.
I'm not familiar with him. Brooklyn, you're in the background, and you said that you want to tell me and YS some sports media something. I would recommend that you show your face. I don't think you've been up here before. At least show your face on the camera so I know who who you are. We had a little situation last week where somebody, I'm not even going to go through it again, but somebody put a picture up of a very inappropriate part of the body and put a name of another content creator who I thought it was, and it really wasn't that person. And I always tell people to show their face in the background first if this is their first time up here. So I'm going to do the same with you, Brooklyn, if you can. Oh yeah, Brooklyn got his. I see you, Brooklyn, my man. If you want to turn your camera off when you come up, that's cool. All right, Brooklyn, you said that you wanted to come through, my brother. How are you today?
Yeah, I'm good, man. This is AC. I just had to change my name because I got an endorsement from another company, and I'm changing the nature of my channel.
Congratulations, AC.
Yeah.
AC, what's good, man?
What's good, bro? I told you I'd come back here if I was wrong. I said I'd come back here to tell you I was wrong. And
about what?
When I was talking about Blue Blood, when we had that conversation about Blue Blood and Jaron Ennis. When Blue Blood was supposed to have called Jaron Ennis.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
That was a couple weeks ago. Yeah, I remember.
I said if I was wrong, I would come back because everybody know I'm that type of dude. I'm a stand-up guy like that. I'm gonna say emphatically, I was wrong. There was a whole 12 minutes of his video that I started to watch, but was trying to fast forward through it because he does that whole schmeal where he got to shout out almost everybody that's in the chat.
Yeah,
so I was trying to fast forward it. And the one thing that both of you could have cooked me on it, which would have just shut my whole argument down, was when he said Terrence Crawford came back to me and asked me, okay, if I come back to BLK Prime, what fights can you give me? Right there, I was like, oh shit, I was wrong because it did happen. So the video he posted on my date calendar in my receipts, it says in March. So he said it was 30 days ago. So from March, the previous month is February. So all I'm saying is I don't know where or why I misconstrued. It could have been that 12 minutes I missed. But like I said, if I said I was wrong, I'd come back, be a man about it, and say I was wrong. And that's all I came to
I
do.
definitely respect that, brother. I
Yo,
definitely respect that.
double salute to AC. Hold on, AC, because I believe in honor and I believe in doing things fairly, bro. In the chat right now, it don't have to be all of y'all, because I see there's a few of the supporters here on this channel. Can y'all please salute AC in the chat so he can see that? Because that was honorable. I got to double salute you again, bro. It's not even about me being right or YSM being right. It's not even about, it's about the integrity that you maintain. You gave your word as a man, and then you spent the block, came back here, and I didn't even know YSM was going to come up, and you used the opportunity when you saw me and YSM to say the same thing that you was going to do. You came back and you did it, bro. Man, I got the respect. This is what I be talking about, man. They saluting you in the chat too. I need some more salutes though. Two ain't
No,
enough for what this man did, bro. It's
I
not
keep it
enough.
a buck, man.
Seriously.
I keep it a buck. I'm a fan of boxing, and if I'm wrong about some information, I'm wrong about it. There's no you and YSM were right. It was your joint. I was wrong, and that's why I'm gonna land that plane, bro. I got to keep it a buck, man. My manhood is the. Hey, listen, coming from Brooklyn, we always say all you got is your word and your bond. Yep. So, hey, that's it.
I feel you on that. I feel like a lot of viewers might get me and Marty misconstrued because they think because we rock with boots that we got something against Crawford, and like, nah, that's beyond the truth. Like, that situation was just business. Crawford just had a better opportunity that presented itself, and I'm not mad at him for that, bro. $30 million, $25 million, come on.
Yeah, no,
that's a no-brainer.
Yeah, it was just when I went back, I said, you know what? Let me see if I could find a video, and if I could find a video, I'm gonna prove my point. Then when I watched the video from the actual beginning, I didn't even go through the whole video. Once I got like 12 minutes in, he made that statement. I said, all right, man. So just keep watching. Next time you see both of them on, just go on. Be a man of your word. Suck it up. You was wrong. Eat your crow and call it a day. You probably get more respect by doing it that way than saying, "Oh shit, oh wow, I'm wrong," and then just leaving it like that and never coming back to address that situation.
Facts. You definitely got my full. I mean, I always respected you, just the fact that you came up here the first time. You always been respectful every time you come up, and we engage like men. But for you to spin the block and come back again and just, be honorable about it, man, much salute and respect to you, my brother. Always
Right,
for that. Seriously.
All right, bro. I'm gonna let y'all get back to y'all cooking your regular show, and I'll be in the background.
Appreciate you, man. Salute one more again, man.
100, bro.
Man, that was 100. Why, yes, let me get these two super chats. They was on when my cousin, manager Marty Luther King, was on, and I didn't want to stop his preaching. I didn't want to do that. You know what I mean? But that was salute.
That's your cousin from Georgia.
Huh?
That was your cousin from Georgia.
Oh,
Marty Luther King.
Oh yes, he definitely from down south. He definitely from Georgia. Ain't no question about it. Did you hear his accent?
Yeah.
Double salute to my girl. 2 Cents Boxing. Thank you, 2 Cents, for your support and contribution. 2 Cents Boxing says, pass the collection plate to the left. And what she's talking about is the super chat. Come on and be a blessing to the channel. And if you don't, let me do this right here. You don't want to do that. Cash App at the bottom of your screen. Come on and be a blessing to the channel. Thank you so much, 2 Cents Boxing. Double salute to you, and double salute to Chef Curry. Thank you for your support and contribution to the channel. Chef Curry says, preach, my man. Thank you, man. Appreciate you and 2 Cents Boxing as always. What YSM, you can't ask for a better Terrence Crawford fan who's a fan also of the sport of boxing. He came up here. He did argue you and I down. He recognized later on that he was wrong. He said if he was wrong, he would come right back up here and be honorable and make it right. He did just that. YSM, we can't find too many, not just Crawford fans, but boxing fans in general, particularly on YouTube, to be honorable, man.
Stand up, dude. Stand up, dude. I feel like more fans should carry it. More men and more people should just carry it like that. Like, yo, we ain't out to get nobody, yo. I'm just trying to give y'all the truth. And sometimes you a fan of a certain guy, and the truth may not be what you want to hear, but I still gotta give it to you.
Facts. Facts. All right, YS, real quick. You heard some of the things that Eddie Hearn said. And also, I have to say this because I think I heard this earlier today. I got to find it in my search history. But Eddie Hearn said he expects Devin Haney to fight 3 times this year. I mean, he's a champion, and most champions definitely not fighting 3 times a year, but some champions do. But I mean, do you see that happening? Devin Haney fighting 3 times this 2024? I mean, 2024.
I don't know. Being that Eddie isn't signed, like they don't have a contract, so I don't know what Devin's going to do. You know what I mean? So I feel like Eddie is. What's that?
No, I'm listening to you.
No, I feel like Eddie's being Eddie. You know, you just had a fight with him, and you gonna try to offer him more fights, and I get it. You know, that's what he should do. But Bill and Devin, they got their own little entity, you know, their own little movement going. So they could go back to Bob, they could holler at Al. It's honestly, they're in the best position. Like they're a man without a country. They free falling. I gotta hop off, Marty, but I just want to let you know I appreciate you, bro. You're doing your thing, man. And just keep being you.
Absolutely, man. Appreciate you, YSM, always, man. Thank you, man. And thank you too, bro. Appreciate you. Thanks for coming up too, man. That was my guy, YSM, man. Y'all know I gotta let him on. I don't care who on here. I don't care if I say, hey, we about to get off in 3 minutes. I don't care if we about to get off. If I see YSM, you already know I'm definitely gonna open the lane up for him to drive right through it. You know what I mean? Because he's the one, you know, that interviewed me. You know what I mean? He's the one that gave me the opportunity, you know, to be able to share with you all how the business of boxing worked in a small period of time, even dealing with just one fight at the time that he interviewed me. And not only that, he helped me, giving me information on how this whole YouTube thing worked, you know, with setting up the AdSense account and a lot of things that YSM has done, even through encouraging me behind the scenes. So double salute to my guy, you know, YSM Sports Media. I mean, when we look at the climate of what's happening, you know, I mean, Devin Haney is a star. I just want to be clear. I want us to be clear on that. Devin Haney is a star. Devin Haney, I'm going to say it again, because see, what happened is some people misinterpret when I say something about certain fighters. People misinterpret when they're fans of that fighter. Devin Haney, he is a star. Devin Haney is not a superstar, and Devin Haney is not the face of boxing. He has the potential to be a superstar. He also has the potential to be the face of boxing, but he is not the face of boxing right now, and he is not a superstar. However, he can be if he begins to fight more fights that challenge him. And let me be a little bit more specific so we won't have no misunderstanding. You know, because, you know, when you start saying certain things about people's favorite fighters, instead of them listening, they get emotional and they start trying to defend. But just hear me out. You know, a lot of people want Devin Haney to increase his level of competition, and by right, he should. And I'm gonna keep it all the way 100 with you. From a business perspective, since he is a free agent, according to what YSM just told us, we just heard YSM Sports Media tell us that Bill Haney confirmed that they only signed a one-fight deal with Eddie Hearn, so they're free agents. And with that being said, having the control of being a free agent, you know what I mean? Now is the time to fight better opposition. And with that being said, the opposition, the dance partner, have to be a reputable dance partner who can generate revenue. You got to have the right dance partner in this business to make money. That's just a fact. Okay? That's just a fact. And so a lot of fans have been saying, boxing fans, I'm saying, have been saying that Devin Haney has been fighting guys on the backside of their careers in their 30s. And that is a fact. That's not an opinion. That's true. It's all about properly matchmaking. But at some point, though, the level of competition must be increased. Salute to you, Band Up. I see you. Eddie, I see you as well. Cash Crypto, my guy. I see you. Okay? And we got to deal with this. Devin Haney is a very good fighter. He is. He's a very good fighter. But we cannot call him great just yet. When you are a great fighter, it's when you are in the ring and you have proven that you are capable of beating a great fighter. Now, when and how do you prove that? When you fight another great fighter. When and how do you prove that? When you fight another very good fighter. So if one very good fighter fight another very good fighter, and that first very good fighter win, that very good fighter that wins is great. But you can't hold the mantle of great. Nobody in boxing can hold the mantle of great when your level of competition has been reduced to opposition that's easy for you. And they're not very good opposition. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. And what do I mean by that last statement? When Terrence Crawford was in negotiations with Errol Spence's team, guess what people were saying, including myself? That his resume needs to be improved. And the reason why I said that, let me just take you back down memory lane, because boxing fans, some, not all, but some boxing fans have short-term memory loss. That's because Terrence Crawford was on Katie Abdul on her YouTube show, podcast, and he was discrediting Danny Garcia. And he was discrediting Errol Spence for fighting the same fighters that he fought in Sean Porter and Kell Brook. And so we have to apply those same principles that we were criticizing Terrence Crawford for. We got to apply those same principles to Devin Haney. When Terrence Crawford fought David Evanesian, people was complaining like, why is he fighting David Evanesian? We want to see him fight Errol Spence. David Evanesian is not on Terrence Crawford's level. This is what people were saying, right? So if that is the case, we have to keep that same energy when it comes to Devin Haney. when fighters are not on his level, he's supposed to beat them, right? Like Terrence Crawford was supposed to beat David Evanesian, right? Remember, we talking about the same David Evanesian that didn't get much credit for beating Sugar Shane Mosley a couple years ago. See, some of y'all done forgot that David Evanesian beat Sugar Shane Mosley. Nobody didn't give him credit for that win. Know why? Because they said, oh, Sugar Shane Mosley's over the hill. This is his last fight as a professional boxer anyway. So once again, we got to keep that same energy. If you criticize Terrence Crawford for fighting David Evanesian when you wanted him to fight Errol Spence, that same energy has to be directed to Devin Haney if he fights somebody else of a lower level competition instead of the fight we all want him to see. And that's with Tank Davis. We just got to call a spade because we all want him to fight Tank Davis. The best fighters should fight the best fighters at some point. Not every fight, because that's not how the business of boxing is designed. But at some point now, when you overcome the obstacles, when you overcome the struggles of becoming a world champion, yeah, every now and then you get a little cherry pick. That's how the business is set up, especially if you lose a fight. You in the back of the line and you building your confidence and you building your resume back up. But once you capture a title, and then another title, and then another title, and then another title at some point now, your level of competition have to improve. And so this is what it is. And it's not about critiquing or criticizing. It's about us, the fans, want to get our money's worth. And I'm referring to Devin Haney and Tank Davis. But I'm more so having an expectation for Devin Haney more because his dad, Bill Haney, has gotten in front of camera after camera, YouTube channel after YouTube channel, interview after interview. Even in the promotion of their fight with Lomachenko. And he was saying some things about fighting Tank Davis. And that didn't happen after the Lomachenko fight because that's what the expectation was. So now that he's a free agent, now that, for right now that we know of, Tank Davis don't have a fight lined up that we know of publicly yet. Devin Haney just fought first time at 140. He captured the title from an overmatched opponent in Regis Prograis. Now it's time for them to roll. And that's my take on that. It's very simple. No more moving up to 147. That's not necessary. Because Devin Haney himself said, his words, not mine. We got to hold people accountable to their words. The same way y'all try to hold me accountable for my words, including when my words are right. Keep that same energy for your favorite fighter. Matter of fact, I'm going to pull it up. I don't want to misquote nobody. I don't want to misquote nobody. Hold on one second, y'all. Let me get it. Here's Devin Haney. This is Devin Haney. Let me get the date for y'all. May 21st, 2023. Right after he fought Vasily Lomachenko at the post-fight press conference. Roll the tape.
I have a question. Given everything you go through to make 135, which you've admitted, short of a fight against one of those names you mentioned, or Tank Davis or Shakur, if those fights are not possible, would you be more inclined just to move up to 140?
Yeah, if I can't get those fights next and or it doesn't make sense for it to be next, I'll probably go to 140.
Stop. I want to stop it right there. He said, if I can't get those fights at 135, or if it doesn't make sense, why wouldn't the Tank Davis fight make sense? Tank Davis fought in April of 2023, and 1 month later in May, same night that I just played that small little clip, Devin Haney fought Lomachenko. They fought 1 month apart. So why wouldn't the biggest fight, the biggest payday of Devin Haney's career, why wouldn't it make sense? That's just a question I wanted to ask. Okay, hold on. Take it back 10 seconds and rewind the tape.
Test it out. Yeah, if I can't get those fights next and or it doesn't make sense for it to be next, I'll probably go to 140, test it out, see how I feel at the weight at 140, and then when the time is right, then I'll defend my belt at 135.
Stop. I'll go to 140. I'll see how I feel. Or if I have to, I'll go back down to 135 and defend my belts. That's what he said. Y'all heard what he said, right? But he went up to 140 and he actually vacated some of the titles at 135. That's what it really happened. That's not an opinion. That's not hating. That's not being biased. That's a fact. He said it out of his own mouth. That's what he said that he was going to do. But that did not happen. Just like, watch this, just like some of y'all praised Errol Spence. And I did too. When I say praise, I'm not talking about praise like, I'm speaking for myself. I ain't praise him like I praise God. Let me just reframe that and say, just like we acknowledged and gave him credit for being a man of his word. Remember, some of y'all was in my comment section, some of y'all was in the chat, and some of y'all was on the panel. And y'all said Errol Spence did everything he said he was going to do. He said he wasn't going to fight Keith Thurman, and he ain't fight him. Remember, y'all heard me say that, right? He was a man of his word. He said he wanted Terrence Crawford when he was in his hometown. He said, I ain't fighting nobody else. The next fight he wanted was Terrence Bud Crawford. And he was a man of his word. And Errol Spence got credit for that, right? Errol Spence got applauded for that, right? Errol Spence got commended for that, right? As he should have. Okay then. Why? Because our expectation level is when a man or a fighter speaks something out of his mouth and say he's going to do something, he's going to do it. So if Devin Haney says he's going to do something and he didn't do it, we got to hold him accountable for it. Now I'm hearing in the chat that it was hard for him to continue to make 135. Now I have a question about that. And guess what? I believe it was hard for him to make, I believe it was hard for Devin. I said it right. I believe it was hard for Devin to make 135. I believe that. But I had a question on that. And I asked this question before we got off the air yesterday. And I just asked it again earlier, but hey, since that comment came up in the chat, I'm going to ask again. According to the snack program, which Devin Haney told us that it enhances his performance, even though it's not drugs, and Victor Conte's a mad scientist, his words, not mine. Y'all just heard it. According to the snack system on their Instagram page, according to their advertisement, It says that Snack offers products that improve your level of fitness, help lose fat, build muscle, and enhance performance. So if it help you lose fat and build muscle and improve your level of performance, then my question becomes, how hard is it to make weight on a program that's that good? And my second question becomes, if you know it's hard for you to make weight at 35, then Bill Haney shouldn't run around screaming a 135-pound fighter. In other words, if you know you're not going to fight him because you can't make the weight, or if that's not a fight that makes sense at the time, don't run around screaming Tank's name. We got to stand on what we do now. This is no criticism. We talk about truth. That's true. We got to stand on it. I'm going to get some merchandise. Well, merchandise will be out in a couple months. Early this year is coming up. Early 2024 is coming up. Stand on it. If you say something in the universe, in an atmosphere, on a camera, and publicly, you holding yourself accountable to stand on what you say. So you can't say Tank Davis when Devin was at 135 and Tank was at 135, and then say what Devin said, don't keep the word, and then say, well, Tank ain't one fighters anyway. Now that's not right. Even if Tank didn't want to fight you, you forfeit the luxury of pointing out the fact that he don't want to fight you if you know you ain't going to fight at the weight no more anyway. If you knew you was going to move up anyway after the Loma fight, can't do that. We got to keep it 100. We just got to keep it 100. James Bay from Oakland, California is in the building. Salute, I see you. We just got to keep it 100. Now, I got another point that I want to bring up. Now, there's this thing that I'm hearing today. That Matias, this is what we're hearing now. I don't even know his first name. Sabril Matias, manager, allegedly told Bill Haney that he wanted to fight Devin Haney after he was acquiesced by Bill Haney that he'll fight Devin Haney for $4 million. That's what we were told. Okay. I don't know if there's audio or email or message or text message with that evidence, but I know that by hearsay and testimony, that's what we were told. That the manager of Matias, somebody sent me a 30-second clip earlier, and they might be watching me right now. The person that sent me that clip know who they are. Sent me a 30-second clip, and that's all I heard was somebody saying something about turning down $4 million. A clip of somebody else publishing this. Let me clarify that. That the manager of Matias turned down a fight because they were overpricing or outpricing themselves, saying that they'll fight if they get paid $4 million. Some people have interpreted that or misinterpreted that as a duck. Oh, because they said they want $4 million to fight Devin, they ducking. That's not true. That's not a duck. Because of the expectation. See, we got to deal with all of the facts in context. That's not a duck. That was not a duck. If that really happened, once again, I don't have any evidence to substantiate the claims of whether that happened or not. But just based on what we've been hearing, that Matias told Bill Haney, or not Matias, excuse me, his manager told Bill Haney, right? $4 million. $4 million. We want to fight. Yeah, we'll fight Devin Haney. My client will fight Devin Haney. We want $4 million. See, if you run around here, we got to stand on what we do. It don't matter who you are. Manager Marty gonna keep it 100 with you. And I'm sure you'll respect me for it. Whoever. You can't run around saying, nobody can, and I'm including fans as well. You can't run around here saying that Devin Haney is the face of boxing. Because if you say that, and then listen, if you believe that, that's great. Even if Bill believes it, even if a fan believes it, even if I believe even if I believe Devin Haney is the face of boxing, it don't make no difference who believes it. If you run around here saying that, best believe somebody's going to challenge that and say, okay, well, if he is the face of boxing, then dang, I know we can get a lot of money out of this fight. How about $4 million? Now, what was told was, I don't know how true this is. I'm just going by what we heard now. That Bill Haney's response was, how much did Matias make in his last fight? You talking about fighting my son at $4 million. How much did Matias make in his last fight? They said Matias' manager said he only made $250,000, which is $250,000 in his last fight. Right? So of course, Bill Haney's response was, well, wait a minute. How y'all gonna ask for $4 million when you only made 25? Excuse me, I was gonna say 20. Yeah, that was right. 25% of $1 million. How you gonna ask for $4 million when your client only made 25% of $1 million in your last fight? Now, somebody you don't understand business will say, "Oh, that was a good question. That doesn't make sense." You're right. You're wrong. Because what's good for the what? Goose is also good for the what? Gander. You see? And what I mean by that, watch this now. We cannot have selective outrage, because when Terrence Crawford kept saying that he want $20 million, this is what we kept hearing. He want $20 million to fight Spence. He want $20 million to fight Spence. He want $20 million to fight Errol Spence. What was the rebuttal to that? The rebuttal was, you only made $3.5 million as a maximum guarantee with Top Rank. Now you talking about $20 million to fight Errol Spence? That's because the expectation was that Errol Spence was the A side and he was the face of the 147-pound division. So of course, Crawford was going to shoot his load and say 20. But he was criticized when he did it. Correct? Cool. Now, second point. If that's the case that really happened, right? That Matias' manager or his team or whoever said, our last fight, we generated $250,000 that we've earned. And Bill Haney's response was, y'all want $4 million in your last fight, you made $250,000, 25% of $1 million? Well, wouldn't the dynamics be the same for Devin Haney if he fought Tank Davis? Because Tank Davis would be the A side, right? And Tank Davis is a superstar, right? And Tank Davis is the face of boxing, right? So Tank Davis can do the same thing if Devin Haney try to say, well, since I'm fighting the face of boxing, a superstar, guess what? Man, I'm going to try to shoot for the stars. I want at least $10 million to fight you, Tank. Tank can come back the same way Bill said he came back on Matias' team. Whoa, whoa, whoa. How much did you generate, Devin Haney, in your last fight? Well, according to the paperwork that's been flying around YouTube, $1.5 million to fight Regis Prograis. Tank can equally say, well, how you going to ask for $10 million when you only made 1.5 in your last? Y'all see my point? So what I'm saying is everybody got to be held to the same standard. And for my final point, if that story is true, let's just hypothetically say it is, because I don't know if it is or not, but we got to keep it on it. If Bill Haney offered Matias' team that amount, not the $4 million, I'm talking about that amount, whatever that amount is. I don't know what that amount is, but that amount to fight Devin, and then Matias' team came back and said, whoa, not that amount, $4 million. Guess what? They shouldn't be criticized for that, because that's what they're supposed to say. You don't think if I'm managing Matias as a boxing manager and Bill Haney calls me and say, Manager Marty, your client Matias, he's on our menu. We want him next. You don't think I'm going to say $4 million as Manager Marty? I'm going to say, wait, Bill Haney said his son to face the boxing. And Devin Haney just spent, according to him, $500,000 on a chain piece and a new watch. And he's a millionaire. And my client highest purse was $250. Bill, we need $4 million. You know why I'm going to say that? And I'm not saying this is why Team Matias said that. If they did, I don't know. I'm telling you what I would say as a man. I would say the same thing. $4 million. Want to know why? Let me take my glasses off because people keep on saying I ain't no manager. Because I'm always shoot high so we can meet down low in the middle. Because I know Bill's response going to be $4 million. What? Your boy don't generate no tickets like that. He only made $250. And you know what I'm going to say to Bill? You right. So we going to settle for $2 million. Watch this. We going to settle for $2 million. I said $4 million because I already know you ain't going to oblige me with the $4 million. But that's what negotiations are. Shoot high and then meet somewhere in the middle. Give us $2 million. We'll sign the contract today. You want to know why? I can say $2 million. Because even if he go down and say we ain't doing $2 million, I'm going to say you ain't got a deal. Now somebody can say, well, Manager Marty, if y'all come down and meet in the middle after you said $4 million and Bill Haney say no to the $2 million, I'm going to say the deal off the table. Want to know why? Because you just got finished paying Regis Prograis $1.5 million. And my client Matias is a champion as well, just like Regis was, right? Y'all paid him 1.5 just like y'all got paid 1.5. So we gonna need $2 million. Yeah, my client gonna need an extra $500,000. So after the fight, he can go get the same chain from the same jeweler that your son just went and gave $500,000 to. It's just business. Even if I take 1.3, it ain't the point. The point is, I'm gonna start at 4. We're gonna meet in the middle at 2. And then we probably do get about 1.3 when it's all over. But guess what? My client only seen $250,000. And I gotta get my cut out of that. That 1.3 or that 1.5. So it's my job to shoot high anyway. That's my job as a manager. I just wanted to put that out there for anybody that don't understand why I say Team Matias, if they did say $4 million, that's not a duck. You're supposed to shoot high. If he believes that Devin Haney's the face of boxing, of course he's going to shoot high. No doubt about it. He should. It's business. It ain't personal. But please stop calling the man a duck unless you understand the concept of business. That's not ducking, bro. Because if the shoe was on the other foot and Devin Haney was in Matias' circumstances and Tank Davis was in Devin's circumstances with that negotiation, it would be the same principle. Bill Haney would shoot for at least 10 to fight Tank. And even if Al Heyman and Tank come back and say, well, you only made 1.5 in your last performance. Damn, you right. All right, well, we're going to meet somewhere in the middle. We need 5 million then. It's the same concept. Any questions or concerns about anything I just said? Anybody? Because I don't want this live to go off and then people get in my comments section, and start misinterpret what I'm saying about Devin Haney and say I'm hating and I don't like him, which I do like him. But we got to keep it real. It ain't about whether I like somebody or not. Real is real. And we got to call it right down the middle, spade and spade, balls and stripes. Now, if I'm not making no sense at all, you can tell me that too. We can talk about it because I want to be able to make sense to educate the public. I'm never going to mislead you all. But ain't nobody coming to see Matias anyway. I don't even know how his name even came up within 24 to 48 hours after Devin Haney just got finished fighting. Let the young man go on vacation. The young man just bought a new chain on a private jet. Let him vacate for a minute. Why are we negotiating fights within 24 hours? And I got to bring something up about that too. You're supposed to know as a manager what fights you got lined up for your client. Not wait till after a fight to start calling all these people. When I manage a fighter, I know her or his next 3 opponents, potentially. Even if the deal fall through, we got the list of the next 3 right here. We're not going to wait until after we scrambling all around 24 to 48 hours, after you fight. No. Your manager got you covered. We got a little list right here. Because we know why? We have a goal to accomplish. We got higher earnings, potentially. We got more sponsorship. We have more investments that we need to make in your name for life after boxing. You see? So I'm setting up the paydays of what we can potentially earn if we compete in this ring with the right dance partners. I'm doing that in my due diligence process before we even get in the ring with Lomachenko. Y'all thought I was going to say Regis? No, I said before we get in the ring with Lomachenko. And I'm not saying this is not being done on Devin's part or the Bill's part. I'm telling you as a manager with the right protocol is. Before we get in the ring with Lomachenko. Why I keep saying Lomachenko? Because we know after my client compete with Lomachenko, we are officially free agents. That means a promoter do not have to guarantee us any more fights because we don't have an exclusive deal with a promoter. So that's making my job even harder as a manager. And I'm going to go harder. You know what I mean? I'm going to go harder on behalf of my client. That's why before the deal expires between my client and Top Rank, before we even get in the ring with Lomachenko and we free agents after that, I'm already on the phone setting up deals. So after my client beat Lomachenko, you ain't got to wait till no 24 to 48 hours after my client fight Regis on who we reached out. No, we got this thing lined up. Now, we can't control whether the deals are successful or they fall through based on the other side. But we're going to do our due diligence. Let's talk about it as the viewership is increasing exponentially. And with that being said, when the deal is done before we get in the ring with Lomachenko, we don't have to be concerned about being on the phone with a certain mentality of yelling on the phone to Matias Camp to the point where I'm yelling at them, hollering at them, and then they bang on me and hang up on me. Because we are already got 3 fights lined up anyway that I was negotiating because I know my fighter going to beat Lomachenko. And then we're off of the network. That's not how business is ran successfully. If somebody bang on you, if they hang up in your ear, I'm talking about in a professional environment, not in a personal environment. In a professional environment, Aaron Muhammad is in the chat. He's also a business owner. He can back me up on this. If someone that you are having a dialogue with and or a negotiation with hang up on you, they ain't respecting what you talking about on that phone. Or they're not respecting your presentation. So all of being emotional, yelling and being emotional, there's no place in the business environment for that, because you won't get the deal done. You won't get the results you're looking for if you're emotional. It's only business. It's not personal. Now, the reason why I said that, because I heard that with my own ears in that little 30-second clip that was sent to me. The man coach, whatever his name is, I think he must be the guy Matias coach. He said to Bill Haney, I don't think Bill heard him because it looked like Bill Haney got off before the guy can say that. The guy said, I'm going to tell the people to call you back. He said, but Bill, you can't be yelling at these people like that or they're going to hang up on you again. So what that tells me is you was getting emotional. They wasn't respecting your presentation, because we businessmen and businesswomen. We don't have to talk to each other like that. There's some kind of etiquette that we must produce. In the way you talking to these people, this ain't the streets, bro. So they hung up. But if they bang on you for being too emotional and yelling at them, you can't equally come out and say that these people ducked you. You can't. That's not right. We got to call a spade, y'all. That's not right. I'm not saying that's what happened, but I'm just saying what I heard the man coach, whatever his name is, said, they will hang up on you again. You can't be yelling at them and all. Come on, we got to have etiquette. You want the results we looking for. Can't get emotional in no business negotiation. This business. And I close with this portion of it. Because you have your own promotional company. It might not be as large like ESPN's, Showtime's, Amazon Prime's, and I'm using them, the zones, because they're the de facto promoters. I taught y'all about that months ago. Or large like Top Rank, or Matchroom, or PBC, or Golden Boy Promotions. But at least you have your own promotional company. And you ought to be commended for that. Devin Haney Promotions, right? So because you have that and you're a free agent, watch this. You don't need to go have exclusive deals with other promoters that have a relationship with networks. You can cut the middleman right out and go to the network directly. Now, somebody going to say, Manager Marty, you don't know what you're talking about. You just a hater and you're not qualified or you're not credentialed to speak on business. Let me give you some examples. Don't Boots, Jerron Ennis have a relationship with Steven Espinosa? He has a deal directly with the network Showtime, correct? Okay. What about Floyd Mayweather? Remember Floyd Mayweather? Y'all remember him? Okay. Didn't he have an exclusive deal with Showtime? Huh? Before PBC was launched. Y'all remember that? Okay. What about Floyd Mayweather again? Okay. Didn't he have an exclusive deal with HBO? Okay. What are we talking about again? You can go directly to the network. Look, I got my own promotion company. These are the numbers that I produced when I was on A, B, and C's platform and when I was on your platform before. Let's cut a deal. No, we don't need another big-time promoter to come in and get 30. Don't let me go ahead there with the percentages. But no, let's do a deal directly. We have our own entity. We stand on business. Now, it's necessary when it's necessary. I'm not saying that it's not necessary to go with a Matchroom or Eddie Hearn. I'm not saying. I'm just saying, if you got your own promotion company, try your best to go get the deal with the de facto promoter instead of the actual large promoter. It's just the thought that I had. But what I would do with my client. And anybody that can say I'm not going to do it or I wouldn't do it, go back into that video I did when I said the 7 things I would do if I was managing Terrence Crawford, the 10 things I would do, or I think the 7 things I would do if I was managing Errol Spence, and the situation and climate that they were at. Go on my channel and see, and y'all hear me speak on all of this. So we can't be out here in the public on camera saying things without any evidence and then complain when people fact check you or complain and say, prove it, or criticize you. You got to stand on what you do. Don't matter who you are. You got to stand on it. Bill Haney said he wanted his son to fight Tank Davis. Stand on it. Calvin Ford said he want Tank Davis to fight Devin. Stand on it. Shakur Stevenson jumped in the ring after Devin Haney fought Lomachenko. Stand on it. Everybody got to stand on it. No more getting away with talking, going to the media on YouTube and doing all. Nobody gets a pass for it. Everybody got to stand on it in 24. 2024, everybody got to stand on it. Whatever you said in 2023 that didn't happen, stand on it in 2024. Everybody, no more pimp talking, slick talking, back talking from nobody. Stand on it. Now somebody's going to criticize Manager Marty. I'm waiting. And they're going to say, come on, Manager Marty. How can you even speak on Shakur Stevenson jumping in the ring with Devin Haney after Devin Haney fought Lomachenko? Let me take my glasses off, because once again, some boxing fans who are fans of fighters have short-term memory loss. The last time I checked, when Sean Porter beat Danny Garcia, y'all remember that fight for the WBC? Okay. Didn't Errol Spence jump in the ring? Huh? They fought next, didn't they? All right then. When Lomachenko fought before he fought Devin Haney, didn't Devin Haney jump in the ring and was talking to the microphone right in front of Lomachenko? And they fought next, didn't they? All right then. What we talking about? When Errol Spence got finished beating Sean Porter for that same WBC strap, didn't Danny Garcia jump in the ring for him and Spence? They fought next, didn't they? All right then. What about when Errol Spence fought Mikey Garcia? He caught Pacquiao was in the ring already. He said, come on over here, Pacquiao. I already know why you in the ring. Come on. They was going to fight next, wasn't they? Until Earl had the eye surgery, right? All right then. What are we talking about? Come on now. We got to call a spade now. And we got to keep it all the way 100. Now, Shakur Stevenson would have never been allowed to step in the ring unless the promotion gave him consent. Believe that. Believe that. You better believe that if you don't believe nothing else I just told you. You know why? Because the athletic commissions, they're very strict about who jump in that ring. Before a fight, the ring walk, it don't matter if you got a known rapper rapping you as a fighter to the ring. That inspector gonna stop you. You ain't getting in the ring rapping. You can stand by the steps and finish your you know what I mean? You can finish just spitting your bars, but you ain't getting in that ring. They're very strict about that for a reason. So they're not gonna let fighters just jump in the ring and just be, nah, they don't do that. Remember when Danny Garcia was home in my city? I was at that fight. Keith Thurman was commentating on the headset. Keith Thurman took the headset on, the crowd told him, get in the ring. And Keith Thurman, he had to get consent, of course, but he jumped in that ring. All right, and they fought next, right? All right then. See, everything I said was a fact, was not too much of my opinions with this. All facts. And if I did give my opinion, at least I gave 90% of facts. Irrefutable facts, too. We got to stand on truth and do what's righteous. If somebody else can get away with it, and it was right when they did it, then it's cool if somebody else do it as well. If somebody say something was wrong, or they lied about something, or they got on the camera and was given inaccurate information, and they knew they was lying, they got to do what my man AC did a couple minutes ago. He jumped right back on here because he made an error in public. And he came right back in public with the same mode and vehicle that he made the mistake on. He came back, used that same mode and vehicle, and said, you know what? I was wrong. So if any fighter, coach, father, promoter, manager, anybody get on a camera on YouTube and speak things that are not factual and things that are inaccurate, when you get called out on it, and when somebody prove you wrong, you got to come right back in front of them same cameras on YouTube or in an interview, and you got to apologize to the fan base and say, I spread a little misinformation. My fault. If you don't do that, your credibility is shot. And you hurting the brand of yourself. If you're a fighter, if you represent a fighter, you're hurting their brand. That's just facts. We got to deal with truth. And I close with the godly principle, as I said, in the famous words of the Reverend Bishop Manager Martin Luther King. And he quoted the words from the scriptures. The truth shall set you free. And when you are free, you're free indeed. So we got to stand on what's true, y'all. We got to stand on the truth. That's facts. Now, people in the chat telling me that Matias' team came out and said that they never talked to Bill Haney, or let me reframe that. Let me make sure I got that right. They said that they never said anything about $4 million. That's what people in the chat are saying. I want to make sure I'm quoting that correctly. Make sure I don't want to misquote nobody. Larry, what's going on? Richmond, Virginia, salute. I see you. I ain't even see you in the chat when you said that. I want to make sure I salute everybody that's putting their location out there. Oh, okay. That's what was going on as well. Somebody in the chat. Okay. Now we getting somewhere. Y'all see this on the screen? I'm going to leave y'all with these words. Some dude named Peter Kahn called Bill and said that number. I'm assuming that number was $4 million. Matias' real, in capitalized letters, manager said Khan don't represent them. And then both Bill and his real team, Matias's real team, said that they will call Bill in a week. The TBV equals the source. I would assume that is the boxing voice. And the only reason why I picked that up real quickly is because the person that sent me that 30-second clip I was talking about, it was from the 30-second clip of the coach, I don't know his name, of Matias and Bill Haney. It was like 20 seconds or 30 seconds, that little clip that they took out and sent it to me. Well, there we have it. I'm excited. Yo, we had a good show today. It was a little chill. You know how we do. You know, we chill. We every now and then, a couple times during the week, you know, we chill, relax. It don't have to be always animated. We don't always have to have a huge panel. But the bottom line is we had a good chat. The chat was on fire today, as always. Moderators was on point today, as always. So salute to the moderators and everybody engaging in the chat. Thank you for everybody, again, who contributed to the channel financially, and everybody who contributed to the channel with your time. Thank you for your investment. Listen now, we back here tomorrow. We are back here tomorrow. Thank you, CEO Sense. Appreciate you. We're back here tomorrow. Live and living color. 4:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Two Cents Boxing left us with these words, and I want to make sure that I put them up because she added me in it. And she's also one of the supervisors of the Roll the Tape film crew. And this is one of the perks, you know what I mean, that you get when you become a member of the channel. Please don't forget, if you want to join the channel, we have 3 tiers to the channel. All right? Exclusive perks for each. Two Cents Boxing says, at Manager Marty, that's cap. I seen Bill say out his own mouth in an interview that he, capitalized he, called Matias's team. Oh, there you have it. Hey, we got to keep it real, y'all. We got to keep it real. All right? And I know somebody heard, listen, when y'all get a chance, go back and listen, because I know people was getting caught up in the entertainment value that I was producing through Manager Marty Luther King. Go back. I dropped some jewels in that little speech. Go back and listen to that. Go back and listen to that now, because there's something in there I want y'all to realize that I discovered, okay? All right. And we will discuss a little bit more about that tomorrow. Tune in live and live in color. I welcome each and every last one of you to come back tomorrow. I appreciate your time. And I look forward to seeing you all again and engaging with you all again as always. Man, oh man, we're going to keep it rolling. And hopefully we get the fights that we want, the more competitive fights. No more overmatched, overrated opponents from no fighters. 2024, we're here now. No more older guys that's out of their... No. When you're a world champion, you can fight 1 or 2. But we're not going to slide with the whole career with that. Everybody got to step their level of opposition up. 2024. Y'all know this, and I'm going to leave y'all with this. And I hate to keep bringing this up, but it's funny a little bit. I'm going to leave the same way I came. I'm going to pull out the parking spot the same way I pulled in. I'm going to use my intro that I used in the beginning to come on this show. I'm going to use it when I back out. And I leave you with a quick reason why I say this in a jokingly way. I was trying to spend time. This was years ago. This is not recent. This is years ago. Let me repeat that. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I don't know if the young lady has a husband today or a boyfriend or whatever. And I don't know if her man might be watching me and don't even know, you know what I mean, that I was, talking to the girl. But anyway, I went over this young lady's house. You know what I mean? Ain't been there no more than 5 minutes. Most of y'all heard me say this quick story. Ain't been in no more than 5 minutes. I get there about 3 minutes after I show up. I walk through the front door. She locked the front door behind me. I don't even think I got a chance to sit down on the couch. We were just talking. I just got there. 3 minutes later, guess what happened? I hear a big banging knock on the door. Boom, 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 boom. I'm like, whoa. She said, oh, that's my ex. She said, that's my ex right there. I said, sweetheart, let me tell you like this here. I don't know what you got going on, because the last time I talked to you, you told me. I'm just telling you what you told me now. You told me you were single. I'm single. I don't have a wife. I don't have a girlfriend. I'm single. So I ain't got to jump out no windows. I ain't got to run out no back door. You told me you were single. I don't know why this dude banging on your door, but I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave out the same door that I came in. And I'll let y'all two handle it, what you going to do and what you got to do. And I got to roll. And my intention was not to talk to her ever again behind that. But the point is that I leave out the same way I came in. I came in with the intro, and I'm backing out with the same intro. And to answer your question, 2 Cents Boxing, and anyone's question, if you want to reach out to me or send me a video, 2 Cents, you can email me, martythemanager@gmail.com. And with that, y'all know my saying, right? Don't take my word for it. Roll the tape.
Representing the business of boxing, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Manager Marty.
Thank you. You're far too kind. Thank you very much.